happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
February starting to be the dead time of football. I'm a baseball fan, so I'm getting excited. I know you're not super baseball, so what do you sort of do? What does your brain do when we're recording this? Congratulations, what a great Super Bowl! Or you watched it 5 minutes before Super Bowl. But most of you are listening to it after the Super Bowl, so we're gonna pretty much ignore the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that next week. But where do you go? Where does your brain go, JJ Wang, when you're sort of this is like the limbo time pre a lot of rookie stuff, pre-combine, pre-free agency. Where does your football brain go?
I mean, honestly, it just goes to like basic football. It doesn't really like gear towards fantasy at this much. I'll listen to people talk. Like, I'm not going to sit here and deep dive and spend all week like researching people's like stats, like at the Senior Bowl and stuff like that. I'll look at the Senior Bowl. I'll listen to like some of the people talk about college and stuff like that. I'll listen to just like regular football shows just so you can kind of get a feel for teams. A lot of times, you can know about players all you want, but you need to know what the team is doing along with that. So like I said, I just continue to like listen to talk about football, listen to people talk about football, try to gather how my opinion is on what they're talking about and just stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle. I got that new rebuild team, so I'm starting to look and see where I'm going to go. I had some offers for I have the 1.3, I think, something like that. So it's right after pretty much Mendoza Love. Do I want the number one receiver, which stinks because my receivers are so good. But I'm in that area, and I think we sort of differ, and I differ with a lot of guys in rookies too. Like I don't get too excited about rookies as we're going through him here. I'm like, cool, that's a cool rookie dude. But then where are they going to go? Oh, you're the Raiders receiver. See ya, dude. You play for the Jets. Sorry, Love goes to the Jets. I'm not as excited. It's like, oh, cool. He's supposed to be like the best running back coming out for a little bit, but then say he ends up in, oh gosh, I don't know, San Diego for some weird, Los Angeles for some weird reason. I'm a little excited seeing him play with a Marriott Hampton. That won't happen, but he's got to land in a good situation, and I'm a little more excited. Or some guys might scale up and down. It's like May, the top of May. I'm super excited because I'm like, okay, I know where they are now. I'm like free agencies, seeing where guys are going, and tinkering with my team. And usually when I trade this early, I screw my team up. But that's sort of where we are. So
honestly, I've been considering lately to try. I don't know if I'm really too excited really about this draft a whole lot.
I've heard a lot of dud. Yeah.
There's some. Don't get me wrong. There's good players, just like every draft. There's going to be good players. They turn out to be good. But I'm not really sure how excited I am. I've been thinking about trying to just get out of this draft and maybe like try to double up in next year's draft. Maybe. I've been considering trying to trade like some of my bigger name players. Consider maybe getting rid of somebody like a CJ Stroud. Honestly, I've even been thinking about maybe what should I do with like CeeDee Lamb. I'm not
Ooh, is that going to be part of your talk today?
We'll get into. We might get into a little.
That's going to be part of your counterpart.
We might be able to get into a little bit with one of the topics that I have. But it's just looking at some of the bigger name players that I've had on my team in a while. I like my teams, but going into the season with the same team every year after year, it gets kind of boring. I think this might be like the kind of the year where I just like shake things up and just maybe like reboot. If I haven't won a Super Bowl in the league, maybe just trade everybody off, get some draft picks, or maybe just get some different players. I'm tired of rooting for the same old players. Maybe I want to root for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
And for those of you, if you just found the Couriers or anything, we do some redraft, but dynasties are our bread and butter. It's our favorite. We like to do. And dynasties all about building. So you might have a team where you're basically the Dallas Cowboys of fantasy football, and you're sort of just teetering along, or you might be bored. And that, but if you think if your team doesn't win and you just sort of like the first team in the playoffs, first team out every year.
You're just the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're just the Pittsburgh Steelers every year. I'm tired of being the Pittsburgh Steelers. And maybe I should fire my head coach.
Yeah, and then hire the coach from the other team that's not any good.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
the
maybe it's
Cowboys coach,
we
the
should
Steelers coach,
hire me a fresh new up and comer.
like Mike McCarthy. But yeah, but that's the cool thing about Dynasty though is what I love about is the building. If you've never done Dynasty, I strongly encourage you. This is the time of year when startup drafts will become popular. That's something people do. That's how those of us who play too many leagues end up in new leagues because we're like, I want something new. I want the new hotness, and the new hotness would be a brand new stinking team. That's why I bought into a league with the Gridiron Goddess Susan from Turf War, and she's been on here into that league because it's a challenge. Because I got some teams I can't do that with. They're too good, and they hit that buzzsaw the last couple of years in the playoffs. I got other teams where I'm going to tinker with a little bit, but you got to figure out your tinkering. You got to see where the draft's
But I
going
mean,
to go.
how long do you want to keep that good team hitting the buzzsaw? I mean, if you hit the buzzsaw like 3 years in a row, you're like, maybe this team isn't as good as I anticipated. Man, I need something else to get me over the top. I know it has nothing to do with that
Yeah, well,
whatsoever.
the three teams I have, I can't because what they're
You
doing, they're
can,
those teams.
you definitely
I
can.
can, yeah, it's stupid, but they're the team scoring like the most points in the league
Yeah,
by a
but
lot,
cool.
and then by a
You're
lot.
a regular season champion. Cool.
I'm the New England Patriots, 17-1. But yeah,
I mean,
it's what
do you want to be a regular season champion or a Super Bowl champion?
yeah. What's going to change the highest scoring teams? The playoffs are just luck. We know
Yeah,
that, but yeah,
fantasy's
yeah,
pretty much all luck, man.
yeah. There's a strategy to get to the playoffs because we've got the buddy who our friend is coming on who won the Couriers charity league. He built a team there for the playoffs. His team in Dynasty Diamonds in our Dynasty league we do. He killed that team. Like he totally
Well,
demolished and destroyed.
that was his fault.
That's his fault.
I mean,
He's a Raider fan. Oh,
he was like one of those guys, like his first time playing fantasy. He was just trying to wheel and deal. He was just making trades just to make trades, and they weren't the best trades. But I mean that's part of getting into fantasy. I mean, that's the great thing about it. You can do stuff like that. I mean, if you're willing to pay the entry fee every year, I could care less what you do to your team.
as long as you show up and play.
As
Yeah.
long as you
And he's
show
like,
up, fill out your roster, get players in. If you can have the worst, I don't care. As long as you're paying your entry fee and at least setting your roster, which he does. I mean, he's highly involved.
yeah.
He really likes doing it, and that's the kind of people you need. So I have nothing to say about what that guy does with his team. He
No,
can do it.
I'm excited for him,
Yeah,
knowing that he won that.
yeah.
It proves like I thought for a while he might be a complete moron, but now I'm excited to talk to him and see a strategy because you could. I mean, any team, any year, if you build right, like that team's got that team. Seriously, we'll go over when we talk to him in a few weeks, but that team is. There's no way they're winning games the next 3 years
Maybe 5.
unless somebody hands them a team. But there's the building that'll be like in 5 years. Say he wins the league that will be a highly satisfactory, and then he'll finally break even on the league entry fees. But that's the fun part of doing it. If you really are like, man, I need some fantasy. Here's a shameless plug. Go check out Fast Draft. I did a Fast Draft had a Super Bowl game. I actually did just for they're getting ready for best ball, but during the regular season, I'll plug it more next year. They had a thing where basically you pick 5 guys and you pick any 5 guys, but you give them multipliers. So like I had like JSN, I think I had Kenneth Walker as a double multiplier. JSN is a 1.5, and it's not quarterbacks, but DFS best ball is coming back into season. Some guys like that really early best ball fix. If you want that now, jump in Fast Draft. For those of you that really want a challenge, they have an IDP league that comes up about mid-spring or so where you only draft defense.
That's terrible.
It'd be intriguing. I won best ball league, or I got money from a best ball league. I might play with it just to see what it is.
I don't think there's anything intriguing about defensive players. I mean,
I love watching them. They're hard to draft. I
love watching. I mean, I like watching football. I mean, I like watching them out there running around, being big, fast, and strong. But as far as like the excitement level, I mean, what stat do you get excited about? You might get 1 sack a game. If a defensive player gets 1 sack, that's a really good game. You know, a guy gets 7 interceptions a season. That's a pretty good. I mean, that's a really good season. Tackles. I mean, I don't get excited about tackles. I mean, there's just
to be a good tackler, you got to be on a terrible team, right? Like the Dolphins linebacker, he had like almost the most tackles in the league.
Well, not necessarily a terrible team. I mean, if you're middle,
or a lot of tackles, you don't fit a lot though.
A middle linebacker is involved in every play. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter what team you're on, the middle linebacker is just going to be all over the place, and they're majority of the tackles. Like it's just like some people just like like just don't get enough stats. Like you're not going to draft too many defensive tackles. You know,
No, they're cloggers. Yeah, the nose
you're not
tackle's
going
not
to
work.
draft too. You're not going to draft too many safeties. Um, there's only like a handful of guys that are really good at any one thing. At least on the offensive side, you got a whole bunch of running backs that are good, a whole bunch of receivers. I mean, they're just everywhere. And then
They're pretty tight.
on the defensive side, they're not, and it's boring as all get up.
So that was a big plug for Fast Draft. Check it out, Fast Draft app, and it'll hook us up. So hook us
Oh
up. We'll
yeah,
hook
if
up
you
our
want to
other.
play it.
Play it. Check it out. It's an up and coming one. Real quickly before we get into this, is the JJ Wang Extravaganza show. It's gonna be all things JJ Wang. We'll jump into the NFL. Just released their NFL honors, and I just wanted to make sure and stop and pause. And I would love to go back and find the clip. I would if we were more professional. But in August, I said the NFL MVP would be Matthew Stafford. I was really excited. I was wrong about everything else. I said they'd go to the Super Bowl, he'd win the MVP, and then he'd go off into the sunset. So I was 1 out of 3 is not bad, but I'm excited he's coming back. So Matt Stafford, your league MVP, Myles Garrett, the man. Like he's probably the best. He should be league MVP if the Browns weren't so bad. He's so good. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Tep McMillan. Let's see what comeback Player of the Year for.
So hold on. I think Myles Garrett he's a great defensive player, but as far as MVP goes, I mean, you only got to average 1.225 sacks a game to be. I mean, that doesn't really sound like worthy of an
And the thing
MVP.
about defensive players is some of those stats, to really look at a defensive player, you've got to look at where they're running. Like he only had, let's see what I'm looking at, 60 tackles.
Yeah, because his
They're
own
running away from him.
because he doesn't care about tackles. You're not paying that guy for tackles. That guy is not focused on tackles whatsoever. He is only focused on getting to the quarterback. He's when the ball is hiked, his number one goal is to run straight to the quarterback, not chase the running back around. It's get to the quarterback.
A question: who's the greatest cornerback in NFL history?
The greatest quarterback?
Corner.
The great Oh, you get Deion Sanders. I mean, Champ Bailey, Daryl Green. People like that. But yeah, obviously they don't throw to
You'll
that
see, like
guy.
Deion Sanders is supposedly like one of the like top tier. That comes to mind. But then once you got like halfway, 2/3 of the way of his career, the ball didn't go over there because he was so good. So it's hard with stats to go like stats. That's why the IDP is always challenging because it's really hard to go because they didn't run at Myles Garrett because he was still tackling, he's a monster.
So I mean, if Myles Garrett's one job is to run straight up the field, right? So as soon as the ball is hiked, he's immediately running straight. That kind of puts him out of the play for a lot of runs. I mean, if you're running straight down, like if you're running to the inside, if you're running to the outside, yeah, then then he can kind of gather. But if he's running, straight up the field, I mean, that's kind of eliminating like he's kind of giving away his kind of like area, right?
He's a nose tackle, more or less, right?
So I mean,
Wow.
he's kind of getting out of the way, and it's kind of opening up a spot for the running back to go if he's running straight up the field. I know he's better than that. I totally get. I'm
Yeah.
not arguing the fact that
But devil's advocate, so we go. But
I'm not arguing the fact that he's not a great player. I mean, he is awesome, and the guy's a stud. But as far as like MVP, eh, plus he plays for the Browns, he stands no chance.
it's the problem. Yeah, I mean, it's always funny to me. Like, and I'm glad it does separate. But MVP and Offensive Player of the Year are two different people. So, like, JSN got Offensive Player of the Year after his stellar killer year, and Stafford got MVP. So they almost MVP should just be called quarterback,
Best quarterback.
unless a running back runs for 3,000 yards. I mean, usually I think didn't some of those like 21. Did
But
Saquon
even
get
a
last?
running back that runs for 2,000 yards, I still don't think he should be considered the MVP. I mean, you can run for 2,000 yards and your team not even make the playoffs. How good of an MVP are you?
I mean, but if you think the only one that I mean, last year, the reason the Eagles went so far was Saquon. I mean, Josh Allen won the award last year, but I would argue that without Saquon, that Eagles team is a totally different squad. So you gotta have like a season for the Chris MVP should just be called quarterback award for the year, and I'm glad they
Yeah,
don't give it a quarterback. Like they didn't give like the Drake May the offensive player of the year. They gave it to him. Rookie of the year, Ted McMillan. Are you cool with that?
yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, there really wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really like a bunch of great rookie performing. There were some, but I feel like as far as ceiling goes, I thought. I mean, he performed well.
So I was trying to think. I was trying to think because I guess the other rookies didn't have enough. He played the entire season, I guess. Um,
I mean,
because
was
there
there
was
any?
someone.
I'm not really sure what is there. Was there any other really good contenders?
I mean, Tyler Shuck, but he didn't play
He
the whole
didn't play the
year.
whole season.
Uh, Colston Loveland is a possibility. He's a tight end. Judkins came in later, so I mean, it's
Judkins
him
came.
sort of
Judkins came in late, played well for a few game stretch, and then kind of completely fell off.
kind
So
of like it would have been like Buka, I think, if he had stayed consistent and then he just croaked. I mean, Genty, we think he was bad, but if you look at him statistically, it's really weird. His stats were good, so
yeah,
it looked
his
good. I mean, I think Tet's the best. Shuck could be argued in because he came in and
oh yeah,
changed that team.
yeah. I mean, but Jitty on the other hand, he's a starting. I mean, he's just got the carries. I mean, volume. I
Yeah,
mean, he just got the volume. Just because you get a lot of volume doesn't mean you had a great season necessarily. You just had the ability to touch the ball a lot. And I mean, Genty's talented, so if he touches the ball a lot, he should produce. But he underperformed.
yeah, oh, yeah.
So
Comeback
that
player of the
so
year.
therefore in turn, I don't see that like when you underperform, it's hard to be an MVP or an offensive rookie of the year kind of type. But yeah, I'll go
So
for Shuck. I'm all in.
comeback player of the year was McCaffrey. He's sitting there on the board as best player available in a redraft. Are you drafting Christian McCaffrey next year?
Where am I? Where is he the best player
Uh,
available at?
be like, you think he's gonna be? He'll probably tour, but let's say into the first,
Oh yeah, I'll definitely take him at the end of the first.
pick
If
six,
I could get McCaffrey at the end of the first, absolutely.
pick six.
We want a quarterback? Uh
So right there is your like
yeah,
six, seven, eight.
I'd probably go. I'd probably go six, maybe
It's
seven.
like because he's usually he's usually that's what I was doing. But he's usually he seems like in every other year he's gonna get hurt or something. That's why is there the fear in your mind because
But
he
are
will be
as
30.
a fantasy player, or do you play fantasy like that? Oh, Christian McCaffrey is an every year player. I'm going to skip him this year. Is that how you operate?
Secretly, it's in the back of my mind. There was another player who was good one year, bad, and I can't think. We talked about him a couple times, but he's just injured. But it's year 30. He'll turn 30 in June. So I mean that's another factor in there as well.
But he
Runs through
is,
him, so it's
but he's still the centerpiece of
still
Kyle
so good.
Shanahan's
He's
offense.
still so good. Yeah, I'll probably draft him, but it'll scare the
So I
living
mean, are
crap.
you going to take Ashton Genty or Christian McCaffrey?
Well, I don't like Genty. I wouldn't. Genty
That's what.
can't be that high.
But I'm saying,
It
but
seems like
but I mean, he had a down year, and he still was like RB12.
oh yeah. He had a pretty. I'd say he had a little.
So I mean, he still has room to. I mean, if that team can get it a little better, so
So yeah, it'll be intriguing to see what he does as he falls in. Okay, let's get ready.
I feel like I need my glow sticks and everything after that intro. I mean, it takes me back to my partying days here.
I
But
was looking at like my music. I was like, "Ooh, Block Party." It's called Block Party. It's something from a royalty-free site where you just block them in there and you say, "Hey, they're from him." Nice and loud.
yeah, so I got some topics here. It's not fantasy related at all. It's kind of just like some topics that have come up over the past week. But the first one is kind of like a topic a conversation we have every year, and that's the Super Bowl being on a Sunday. I know we discuss this every year, and it's never going to change. I totally get it, but I still think it's the dumbest idea in the history of the world. If you want to party, right? The Super Bowl is a party, correct?
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're partying. Who parties on a Sunday night?
A lot of people, apparently.
No, they don't. They don't. Well, they will party on a Sunday night, but they don't want to party on a Sunday night. They'd much prefer to party on a Saturday. And it's not like yesterday there was so many sports. There was so much sports on that it would interfere with anything. The only good thing that happened yesterday, which was fantastic, was the Duke Carolina basketball game, which was absolutely fantastic. Another classic in that long line of rivalries. That was North Carolina never led in that game until the last zero point 0.4 seconds when they drained a game-winning three-pointer, the first lead of the game, which was absolutely insane. Great game, by the way. But yeah, I'm not like I want to party. I want to stay up late. Nah, that's not true. I don't want to
No,
stay
you
up
don't.
late.
You're such a
I
liar.
don't care if the
You want
Super
people to be able to
even,
stay up late.
even if the party was on a Saturday, I'd still probably be in bed by 9:30. But that's neither here nor there. But then people want to be like, well, we should be allowed off on Monday, blah blah blah. Well, just eliminate that whole conversation and just have it on a Saturday. That way, the only thing people really got to do on Sunday is get up and go to church if they want to. And it's much easier to go to church hungover than it is. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, even those church people be drinking their wine. So I mean, it is what it is. But
Instead America.
yeah, so I'd much rather go to church on a hangover than go to work on a hangover. Correct?
Well, yeah, I'm too old for that. But
Well, this
but
isn't
anyway,
about us. This isn't about me and you.
so I'm surprised business hasn't won this game. I was looking up the stat while you're going. It is estimated that Super Bowl Monday, 26.2 million U.S. employees will miss work. That is work that's not done. That's money lost for companies. And those are the people that pay the NFL. I'm surprised that hasn't pushed in more so than us numbskulls who just want to stay up and everyday Joes who want to stay up and have a beer. But the people that will change this are not people that are eating like tonight. I'm going to eat chicken wings
Yeah.
and Tostitos, whatever. But the businesses, 26.2 million people, money speaks, and I don't know how it hasn't. And if that doesn't like knock some, if they have the power right there to go, hey, NFL, you want us to pay whatever it is it up to 3.5 million for a commercial or whatever it is now? If you want us to pay that much money, well then let's move it back. Let's move it back to Saturday. Let's make it a whole day, a 30-second spot. Oh my gosh, it's up a lot more. $8 million on average
I'm just sorry. The fact that somebody would pay that is absolutely. This is so
for a
stupid.
30-second spot. That's insane.
It is the amount of money people pay for the Super Bowl, to go to the Super Bowl, to buy stuff at the Super Bowl. So stupid.
Well, to show the
That's a whole nother topic.
I do a lesson as a drama teacher where the kids make up commercials, and I used to talk about Super Bowl prices, and I didn't realize it went up this much. I've been doing this job 16 years, and when I started out early, it was like 2 million. Or it might have been a couple years in. It was like 2 million. So in the last decade, it's went up $6 million for a 30-second. Anyway,
And the commercials are nearly as good as they are. Because I mean, you're out of idea. There's only so many ideas you can make a funny commercial until the funny starts becoming stupid. You know,
well, it's also big movie, like the big movie pops, and they're even pulling out like Marvel's not going to do a Doom commercial. A couple like Masters of the Universe, a new big one.
Speaking of that, do you like the fact that Tony Stark is now Doom?
They're saying he's not. They're multiversing. I don't, because Doom is such a good character, and I think they're gonna. I hope that something's going to happen, and this is like some giant bait and switch where they're like, oh, he's Doom, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait, I'm Tony Stark. I don't know, but
oh no, that would be that would be terrible. But I understand it's like
they're saying that he is going to be Victor Von Doom, and it's just Robert Downey playing it. But
yeah,
I hope it is. I don't like it, but I hope it is.
I think that. I mean, I understand you like Tony Stark. Why kill him off? if you want
Dude,
Tony,
that was an
if you
epic.
want,
Let him go. He
if
wants
you
to leave. That's why.
well, if he wanted to leave, why is he back?
Because they paid him enough money.
Well, if they could have paid him enough money to continue being Iron Man.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was a good ending, and he should have just been like, "Hey, I'm gonna go be something in DC universe." Like, I don't like the casting, but I'm excited that it looks like they're actually putting effort into a Marvel movie.
I
So
feel like they
that's
put an effort into a lot of these.
some of the recent ones.
Well, I'm not saying the recent. I mean, recent
No,
ones, but
up until Tony Stark died, great. Between then and now,
well, but it's also a
Spider
brand
Man.
like a brand new. They can only ride that train for so long before they kind of gotta start building.
Those movies were bad. Did you see the Eternals? It was terrible.
The Eternals was bad. Yeah, Well, I don't know anything about the Eternals. I thought the Eternals was kind of weird,
I
but
tried to watch. I read some of the books.
not everything could be a victory. I mean, it's a comic book movie. Just blow up a bunch of stuff. I know there hasn't be as close to the comics as you possibly can, and I think they're okay. I mean, I look at a comic book movie as just that, a comic book movie. Just have a lot of action and blow up a lot of stuff. I mean, that's really all you gotta do.
I'm on a Predator kick. I just watched Prey, and I'm gonna watch the other Predator movie this weekend. That's where I am now.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I even watched a Predator movie. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they got some new ones. They got some cool stuff they've done. Anyway, yeah, welcome to our fantasy football show about comic books, and it's been a good year though. My daughter is really into Spider-Man now.
So well, you said I could talk about anything I want. So.
I said rant on and go bonkers. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Let's talk football.
Well, all right.
Super Bowl slide.
So we're both in agreement that the Super Bowl should be moved to Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think it ever happens?
No. You know what they should do? I'll give them another one better. Move it back. Do something with the season to push it. Have it start later or something. Do it President's Day weekend, Sunday. Monday's off for most government workers. It's a holiday in most of America. Going to do that. That'd be a compromise. It won't happen.
When's President's Day?
Next weekend. The 15th of February. It's the 16th of February. So it's literally a weekend from the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I guess. I mean.
And it's not going to happen though because the NFLPA said the only way this happens is if they do that 18-game season. NFLPA said this is not even a negotiable point. So they're saying 18, 17 were already getting hurt enough, and it's a struggle. 18 ain't happening. But if they go 18, push it back a week, we'll have that extra bye week. Boom, we got President's Weekend.
You could just throw in an extra bye week now, and it would.
I think it'd be a health. I wouldn't blame them for doing that.
Yeah. All right. Next one is. So there's been talk about this is where we can talk about CeeDee Lamb for a little bit if you want. There's been a lot of talk that the Cowboys are going to sign George Pickens to the franchise tag, which is I don't know if you want to, but my thought is I think the franchise tag is stupid. I am not a fan of the franchise tag. The only people that kind of benefit from I'm not benefit. Players get a lot of money on the franchise tag. That's not what I'm saying. George Pickens to get $25 million on the tag, which is a lot of money. But for somebody like George Pickens, do you really think he's going to be happy working on franchise tag when he can go to any other team and get paid top dollar for the next 7 years, or you just want to get paid $25 million for 1 year? I mean, I'd be upset if my job tried to franchise tag me and won't let me go anywhere just because they're selfish and don't want to give me my money. I don't understand how the NFLPA even goes for this. These players got more power than they think they do. And I think if they wanted to get rid of the franchise tag, I think if they fought hard enough, they could get rid of it, because I haven't heard one player say they like the franchise tag. Have you ever heard a player say they like the franchise tag?
I've never paid attention, but I don't think they can say that. There could be some guy. If I'm George Pickens,
they say it all the time.
They say they don't, but there's none that say they do, because saying you don't, once you say you're cool with the franchise tag, you lose all negotiating power.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's like, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
Dude, he's going to get $28 million guaranteed.
But
that's more money than we need the rest of our life. But he's going to get a stupid contract. Yeah.
Maybe, but what if he gets hurt? He's not going to get the stupid
Yeah,
contract.
but I mean, but what he's going to do, the idea, usually I'm trying to look up like stats on how many people negotiate. A lot of them can bounce them into deals, but the teams also got it. There's a double edged sword here because if you're a player and you're like, this team screwed me by making me take a franchise tag. Next year, George Pickens, they won't tag him because the cost is like 50.
And he's not going to sign with them.
And then he's not going to sign. So it's a negotiating tactic. A lot of times they're like, hey, we want to keep you and we need the extended window, is what some of this is.
It's a lie. Why do they need the extended window? That is such a lie. They don't need the
lawyers and
extended
crap
window.
is in there. That's why it's not about the time. Like when you got too many hands in the cookie jar, they're taking care of one cookie jar. But maybe the Cowboys honestly are ready to give him the bank. But they're like, ooh, we saw what happened when CD was there. Maybe CD's coming to the end, and they're like, if you recall way back when CD was drafted, we were like, why did they draft CD Lamb? They had two decent receivers at the time. They had because they were running whoever it was. The CD Lamb didn't make sense because their receiving core was good.
That's when they had Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, Cooper. I forget. It was Terrence Williams was playing decent before he fell off.
Yeah, I'm not comparing anything with Terrence. That garbage. But Amari Cooper was the guy, and then they drafted a second wide receiver, which is fine. A lot of players do that. I mean, there's not a team in the league that would say, "Hey, I'd rather have Terrence Williams than CeeDee Lamb." Nobody would ever. Gallup. It might have been Michael Gallup.
It was Cooper and Gallup.
Yeah,
and Gallup had just come off that really good. It was right before. At that point, Gallup we thought was going to be a player. Like it was before Michael Gallup. But a lot of people that are new to fantasy have no clue who Michael Gallup is. But when he was drafted, you're like, Cowboys needed more stuff when they drafted. They're pretty good about picking receivers.
So the speed of the Cowboys needed more stuff. Why are they going to spend money on a wide receiver that they really don't need when the rest of their team is literal garbage? They got rid of one of the.
Hey, let's put all of our money in receivers and quarterback. That's it.
They got rid of one of the best defensive players in the league to turn around and give their money to a player that's going to be mad because you give him the franchise tag. Do you want George Pickens and a diva like George Pickens complaining all year about being on the franchise tag? Because that's what he's going to do.
That's what he's always done. I was trying to find as we're doing that to see if he was saying anything. He's been quiet so far, so it'll be interesting. They do have all this year $65 million invested in CD and Dak combined. So, I mean, that's only $40 million isn't bad for a quarterback. Usually they're up to like 55, 60.
It's bad for Dak Prescott.
He slung it a little bit last year more, didn't he?
Oh, he slings it every year. That's not
what we're. Defense didn't do anything. Like that's not what we're talking about. For everything.
Even if the Cowboys had a good defense, Dak would blow it.
CJ Stroud, but yes, it'll be interesting. I want to see how this plays out. What Pickens says.
So what if
his mouth's been shut?
What if they sign him to the franchise tag and then trade him?
Then he's gonna really hate the Cowboys.
Who cares? You're trading him.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a. I don't forget all the things with that. I think they lose money if they do that, or there's something weird like.
I don't know. I think the franchise tag is it only works for the teams. That's the only people that benefit from the franchise. Now, great. Like I said, these players get $28 million. That's a lot of money. I mean, anybody. That's all you really need for the rest of your life. But I'm thinking about if I was a football player, what would I want? I wouldn't want to play on a franchise tag.
For management, it could be too. I need to pull it up. I could pull it up later on this week. But they're looking at what the market's going to be.
It's only going to go up.
They don't know, you got to sign him. Yeah, but the market that comes out in March, where does the top receiver, whoever the top free agent is, past CDS, probably Mike Evans, right? Mike Evans can get peanuts, but they have that as more of a point. I mean, Mike Evans is still going to probably make. I bet you somebody pays him $10 million because he's Mike Evans. He's 33 this year, I think. So. But they're looking at the market value, and they don't have. He doesn't have to sign the tag until July or something.
George Pickens ain't comparing himself to Mike Evans. George Pickens,
but there's a market. There'll be a market. You base this out. They can say, "Hey, here's the market for what you get. You go free. You went free agent. This is what you could get."
Yeah, but George Pickens isn't comparing himself to the Mike Evans market. The Mike Evans market is a secondary wide receiver. George Pickens considers himself AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill type money, $30 million a year over the next 4 or 5 years. That's the market George Pickens is looking at, not
But that the
Mike
market is
Evans
whatever
making $10 million.
the market is whatever's being paid at this point. So that'll
Yeah,
be that'll
but
give them the point
the
because they
mark
can rescind it anytime they want, and that's the
receivers,
attitude.
the receiver market is $35 million for the top receiver. That's the market. And if would go to a Buffalo, if he would go to a team that needed a receiver, that's how much money he's going to be. He's going to be getting 30 to $35 million if he can go to another team that has their
I
number
would
one
love
wide
to watch some
receiver.
team just screw the pooch like that. I mean, that would be insane. Do you realize that? Let's see, this year AJ Brown is making looks like about 14. Signing bonus is 8 million. 14, 23 is a cap hit, but yeah, he's not making that much money. I I would almost want to just watch some team mess up their whole system to sign George Pickens after seeing him just sort of like I'm not sure what he is. We both have loved George Pickens, but he sort of petered
But
out when CD.
yeah, because I mean, there's only so many passes to go. Are you going to make CD Lamb mad by throwing it to George Pickens all the time? I mean, that's the problem with having these kind of guys on your team. Uh,
Reggie Wayne played with Marvin Harrison, and they
that's
both were pretty good.
yeah, they had Peyton Manning.
Hey, Dickens and
Peyton Manning
Chase.
was throwing for 50 touchdowns a year. It was plenty to go around.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's going to do, how he's going to react as a whole run. I mean, Dak threw 4,500 yards this year, and that can carry two receivers and give Ferguson some
I
touches
can carry two receivers, sure, but it's not going to
or a
carry
touchdown.
like Dak, George Pickens, CD Lamb kind of receivers when they both get mad because they're not getting the ball enough, right?
They don't mind losing, so they'll take the
Oh
win.
yeah, they don't mind losing. They suck. All right, next one. I think this is probably one of the smartest business decisions you can possibly make in the NFL. I kind of compare it to quarterback, a backup or quarterback going to Kyle Shanahan to be to be the backup quarterback at San Francisco, and then getting paid the following year. And that's Cliff Kingsbury going to the Rams to be the offensive coordinator under Sean McVay. So I'm guessing by the end of next year, Cliff Kingsbury will be the hottest prospect to be a head coach. Do you agree with that? Coming off a successful year with the Rams when that offense is just absolutely insane. And every other coach that works under Sean McVay becomes a head coach, right?
I could, yes. The question, yeah, is he going to be like Sam Darnold?
Exactly.
All
Is
the
he going to
time.
be like what does Sam Darnold do? And look at Sam Darnold now, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, it could be a total great move, or I mean, or Cliff Kingsbury is the assistant coach of the year this year, Mister Josh McDaniels or Norv Turner historically. Those are guys who are really good coordinators. Maybe that's Cliff Kingsbury. Maybe he's not a guy who should be a head coach. And there are guys like that. Like think about Norv. That Cowboys team was so good. Him coaching, terrible. Josh McDaniels, great for the Patriots. Coaching, terrible.
Well, yeah,
Maybe,
but I mean, let's
yeah,
be
but he
real.
will get a job. But somebody's going to get kicked in
I
the
mean,
butt.
I could be the offensive coordinator for the early '90s Cowboys. That's no
But
problem. I could
Norv
be the
turned around
offensive coordinator for
and kept
Tom
the
Brady led
Redskins.
Patriots, right? So I mean, when you go to a team that doesn't have those guys, I mean, stuff can spiral out of control. But I think with the Rams offense being who so is Cliff Kingsbury going to call the plays or is Sean McVay going to call the plays? What's going to happen there? Who's calling the plays, right?
I don't even know, man. That's going to be a mess.
So maybe Cliff Kingsbury is just going there to learn what Sean McVay does, how he runs a team, and then he can just take that and say, "Hey, I learned from the best. Now I can be a head coach." Because the ultimate goal is for him to be a head coach for himself is to be a head coach again. Correct?
I would assume, I mean, if you've went that high in the coaching ranks, that's your goal for the most, I would say. But I, yeah, it's a genius move. But
Genius.
it's gonna somebody's gonna pay for that later on.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
That's
sure, but somebody's going to pay for it after he already gets paid, right? Because coaches' contracts are guaranteed. There's going to be a stupid team out there, the Raiders, the Browns, after they fired Todd Monken after a year because they're going to suck again, you
and
know?
he's old.
And
And
he's
he's old.
old. I mean, let's get real here. Maybe the Dolphins fail again with their coach and they want to come after somebody else. Maybe the
I'm excited for
Cowboys,
the Bucks.
maybe the Cowboys finally realize their coaches suck too, and they kind of dip off into somebody else. But like I said, I just think it's a genius move on Cliff Kingsbury's part to go to the Rams to not call plays just to be an offensive coordinator.
Now, could this kick him in the butt, though, too?
How?
Devontae Adams at 34, 38-year-old Stafford who just had his career year. Adams had a stellar year. Puka's a stud. Maybe Kyron Williams falls off that. Like, it could back. I don't think it will.
How
I don't think
many
it will.
how many off Rams Sean McVay offenses has stunk?
One next year with Cliff Kingsbury.
So they never stink. Sean McVay's offenses don't stink. I mean, they're always good. I mean, that's just how it rolls, kind of like the 49ers. The offense is always good. So you need that Sean McVay rub, and you're going to be another head coach. All right, last one I got. This could be, I don't understand this one at all. Bill Belichick, not a first ballot Hall of Fame head coach. How in the world, before we go there, why is a coach allowed to go in the Hall of Fame a year after they're done, but a player's got to wait 5? Where does that?
Because
Why,
Coach That's why. I bet that's the.
well, yeah, okay, I could give you that one because they might not
That's
be
my.
here. They might not be here in 5 years. Okay, I can give you that
Pete
one.
Carroll's going to be like 92 when he stops
This
retired, so give him a
this
chance to go.
this is true. All right, I will give you that's. I didn't think about that. But in what world, what multiverse, what 17 multiverses out there is Bill Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer? Please tell me. Please try to tell me a
I've had
reason.
this conversation so much this week because as a Dolphins fan, I'm supposed to agree with the fact that he's not a Hall of Famer, and that's just stupid.
You can't.
You can't argue him or Kraft. Both of them got out, and everybody's like, "Well, they cheated." No, they got caught. They did, and the stuff they did was stupid.
So
I mean,
hold
you're
on.
looking at
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
you're looking at Pete Rose. My wife and I, we were out on date night yesterday. We were talking about baseball for some reason. I'll get to it. But Pete Rose couldn't get in the Hall of Fame until he's dead because he gambled on his team. I'm dealing right now. I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan. Our closer, Emmanuel Clase. Have you been reading the stuff about this
I
dude?
haven't heard about that. No.
Oh my gosh, this dude's going to federal prison. He was giving them pitches and telling them what to gamble on speed, pitches come. So he was throwing pitches,
Oh my
like
gosh.
gambling, like with people. Like there's like pitches over like 48 games where he's telling these guys, "Hey, the third pitch I throw is whatever it is." These are like federal crimes. Pete Rose bet on his team out forever. These two dudes, they used a camera to record the other guys playing football and deflated a football. Ooh,
So
don't put
you
them in the Hall. They were dynamic for 20 years. Come
so
on, man.
so you mean to tell me that Bill Belichick and the Patriots are the only teams
They
to
got caught.
ever do this?
You're missing that got
Yeah,
caught.
they got caught, but why did they get caught? Because people were jealous, people were mad at them, and so they started to narc on them. And hey, I know they do this, so let me just go ahead and narc on them because they suck. And if we tell on them, maybe they won't be as good. But what happened in the second half after the Deflate Gate controversy when they come out with balls that were pumped up regularly? Tom Brady threw for 7,000 yards and destroyed the team they were playing. It doesn't matter. They were good regardless, whether they're cheating or not. The fact that people weren't voting for Bill Belichick because they were upset that Bill Belichick dominated them for 20 years,
Oh,
cry me a river, dude. The greatest coach ever. First ballot, without a doubt. And this is a mockery of the NFL Hall of Fame. They should be ashamed of themselves.
now, my thing is, is Belichick the greatest coach ever? I could, without I don't know if I could throw him as the greatest coach ever. I don't know who I would say, but because there's been a lot of great coaches, but he's the most successful coach ever, and people don't like him, and that's why he didn't get in. But yeah, 100%. They should. It doesn't make sense whatsoever why they are not in the Hall of
I
Fame.
mean, is it because
So,
he didn't give a good press conference after a game? Because he was bland? Because he didn't like reporters or stuff like
well,
that?
it's the same thing.
It's
Is
nonsense.
it's that baseball Hall of Fame problem. The people that are voting are like pretentious and they want to wave their big stick, and that's why they didn't get
And
in.
let's be real, none of them have a big stick. Let's get out of here. They might
They
think
have the
they,
power right there. They have the power to say,
yeah.
and they just did it. They're not in there. They're not in the Hall of Fame
And if I was
this year.
Bill Belichick when I did get into the Hall of Fame, I would skip the ceremony, wouldn't even show up. As I'm Bill Belichick, I don't need the Hall of Fame. I'll go down I'll go down as the greatest coach without the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't show up if I was Bill Belichick.
Yeah, by that
You
point,
know what I would
Carolina will
do?
be toast and he'll show up.
You know what I would do on the day they're having their Hall of Fame ceremony? I would go out on a date with
The
my
family stuff.
25-year-old hot wife and say, screw the Hall of Fame. Obviously, I don't need it because I still got my rings. I still got my 25-year-old hot wife. Well, who cares? Y'all can
And
suck it.
North Carolina sucks.
Who cares? Like, whatever. He can suck. They can suck forever. But
I, I had a Patriots fan try to tell me that they were okay with Kraft not getting in. I'm like, you don't. It's because you've been so good for so long. You don't realize how important Kraft is to that team. We're up here in DC, and we saw Snyder wreck a team. We saw within 1 year of Snyder leaving, they turned around a culture. This year, it was just Jane Daniels was hurt all the time. When your best player is hurt, you're not going to win. But the culture in DC is so much different. And if you got rid of the Davis family in Vegas, you would see something different. You get rid of Jerry in Dallas, you see something different. Ross in Miami. If you get rid of some of these cultures that are affecting the teams, you get it. Or if you get that good culture in, like the what the Steelers had for decades, regardless if they haven't won a Super Bowl in a handful of years, they're always successful.
I bet Jerry Jones goes in the Hall of Fame. I bet Jerry Jones goes in the Hall of Fame his first opportunity.
He didn't cheat. Come on.
That guy's a jackass. He's terrible. He hasn't been good for 40 years. He's been the
But
worst.
he was good the entire 90s. So if Kraft
No. He was
Kraft
good.
owns the team for
He was good from 90 to 95.
Well, 92. I guess. They came when they rebuilt what 89 to 92. But
Yeah.
that Cowboys team was good for a while.
Yeah, from 90 to 95.
They weren't just good for 5 years.
After Barry Switzer left, they were like they were like a 500 team. They had some good seasons with Parcells and stuff like that. But what have they done since 95? He had a good 5-year run. And matter of fact, it wasn't Jerry Jones. It was Jimmy Johnson that won those Super Bowls. Now, he hired Jimmy Johnson. He gave Jimmy Johnson the money, but that was the brainchild of Jimmy Johnson.
Who was the GM?
Jimmy Johnson.
Jerry Jones.
Sure.
He was so he can get in because he's been the GM of that team, which is why they suck right now. Because there's certain things in life that pass you by, and we all there's things that we're realizing in our mid 40s. We're like, oh man, how has that passed us by? We're not that old, but imagine if you're as old as Jerry and you're refusing to let things pass you by, and his son's learning from him, so he's learning nothing.
I mean,
but
you can say Jerry Jones was Jerry Jones was not the reason that team was what it was. I mean, I would give all the credit to Jimmy Johnson on that, and there's really nothing you can say to change that
charge. I don't know whoever was in charge of drafting, whether it's Jerry or Jimmy. That's the guy. Jerry had to pull the trigger on the Herschel Walker trade, so that was probably Jerry. Then whoever
he had to pull
the exact right players, like you picked Troy Aikman, you picked
he had
to
pull the trigger, but that doesn't mean it was his idea.
So GMs are the guys that those are the guys. Whoever's the GM, that's who I would look at.
But but you can't tell me that it was Jerry Jones's idea to make all those moves. No, Jerry Jones had no idea what was going on with football at that time.
It was a team. Johnson initiated the idea. There you go.
It's Jimmy Johnson's the reason they're good, not Jerry Jones. But Jerry Jones will be a first ballot Hall of Famer just because of the big stick that he carries with the NFL. I wish somebody would hit Jerry Jones with a big stick.
That is not endorsed by the Fantasy Couriers podcast.
It's endorsed by me. Hit him with a big stick, please. That's all I got.
That's all you got. See, you don't got any wisdom for us this week, do you?
Good luck to the Americans at the Olympics. The Winter Olympics is just starting up. I'm not a huge fan of the Winter Olympics. We don't dominate as much as we do in the Summer Olympics, so I don't pay as much attention. I still watch it, of course, but we don't dominate as much. And it's just not as much fun to watch something when you don't dominate.
Hey, a cool fact: Monique Rowe, who is a skeleton person in the Olympics, went to local high school near the high school that my students feed into.
Nice.
She went to Princeville High School in Virginia, so the kids are learning all about her being a. So we have an Olympic athlete. I hope she comes back to high school to just visit after the Olympics.
Oh, and also a shout out to Lindsey Vonn for completely wrecking her. Evidently, she had an obliterated ACL and still trying to do downhill skiing. That lasted for a whole 10 seconds before she realizes, hey, I really do need my ACL to be a skier. It's not a joke. She had to be airlifted out. It's pretty serious, but I'm pretty sure she'll be fine. But yeah, shout out to her for giving it her opportunity. It's gonna be her last one, so she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out here and do it anyway." So shout out to her. She's been great as always. Trust yourself and trust the process.